I let them think I was the weak one until I controlled everything they owned. My name is Olivia Bennett, and I was 29 years old when my entire family decided I was the weakest link. Not because I failed, not because I wasn't capable, but because I stayed quiet. And in my family, silence looked like weakness. What they didn't understand was simple. I wasn't silent because I was weak. I was silent because I was watching, learning, waiting. And when the time came, I didn't just prove them wrong. I took everything they thought belonged to them. The day I became the weak one, it started in my father's office. Large glass windows, expensive furniture, the kind of place designed to remind you who's in control. My older brother, Daniel, stood confidently beside my father, smiling, because he already knew what was about to happen. "Olivia," my father said, folding his hands on the desk. "I've made a decision about the company." I nodded slowly. I had been working there for 3 years. Long hours. Real results. Major clients I personally brought in. I thought I knew what he was going to say. I was wrong. "Daniel will be taking over the company." The words hit like ice. I blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" My brother smirked slightly. My father continued like it was nothing. "You're not ready for leadership." Not ready. The same company I helped grow. The same clients I managed. Suddenly, I wasn't ready. "Daniel understands business better," my father added. Of course he did. Because Daniel knew how to talk. How to impress. How to take credit for work that wasn't his. The real truth. I looked at my brother. "Those clients you presented last month," I said calmly. "I closed those deals." Daniel shrugged. "You were part of the team." Part of the team. My father didn't even react. That's when I understood something. This decision had already been made long ago. Not based on skill. Not based on results. But based on who they believed in. And it wasn't me. The label that changed everything. As I walked out of that office, I heard Daniel laugh quietly. "Olivia's smart," he said. "But she's not strong enough to lead." Not strong enough. That was the moment they labeled me. The quiet one. The soft one. The weak one. And I let them. Why I stayed silent. Most people think revenge starts with anger. Loud arguments. Big reactions. But real revenge, it starts with silence. I didn't fight. I didn't argue. I didn't even defend myself. I just smiled. "Congratulations," I told Daniel. He looked surprised. My father nodded approvingly. They thought I accepted my place. They thought I had given up. That was their biggest mistake. The exit. 2 weeks later, I resigned. My father didn't even try to stop me. "You'll understand one day," he said. Daniel shook my hand like he had already won. "Good luck out there," he said. I smiled. "Thank you." And I walked away. Not defeated. Not broken. But with something far more dangerous. A plan. Starting from nothing. I didn't start my own company right away. That would have been obvious. Predictable. Instead, I worked quietly. Different firms. Different roles. Learning everything I could. Not just about business, but about people. Investments. Partnerships. Leverage. I built connections. Real ones. The kind my father never valued. Because he only trusted power he could see. The first move. 2 years later, I made my first move. I invested in a small, struggling company. No one noticed. Not my family. Not Daniel. It wasn't impressive. It wasn't flashy. But it was strategic. Because that company had something valuable, a contract with one of my father's biggest clients. Meanwhile, back at my family's company, things weren't going well. Daniel made big decisions, risky ones that looked good in meetings, but failed in reality. Clients started leaving, quietly, slowly, and one by one. They came to me. The shift. At first, it was just one client. Then two. Then five. "Olivia, we trust you," they said. Not my father. Not Daniel. Me. And suddenly, the weak one was becoming something else. Something they didn't see coming. The turning point. 3 years after I left, my father's company was struggling. Badly. And that's when I made the move that changed everything. I didn't attack directly. I didn't confront them. I did something smarter. I started buying shares, contracts, partnership stakes, quietly, strategically, and piece by piece. I began to control the very thing they thought I lost. The setup for revenge. They still thought I was irrelevant, still thought I had failed, still believed I was the weak one. Until the day they got a letter, a legal notice, with my name on it. My name is Olivia Bennett, and I was 34 years old when my father finally realized the daughter he called weak now controlled everything he built. The letter arrived on a Monday morning. Clean, official, unavoidable. And right at the top was my name. The shock. My father called immediately. "Olivia, what is this?" His voice was tense. I leaned back in my chair, calm. "What does it say?" I asked. He didn't answer right away, because he was reading it again. Slowly, carefully. "It says," he finally spoke, "you've acquired controlling shares in 3 of our partner contracts. Not just contracts. They're biggest contracts. The ones keeping the company alive." I smiled slightly. That's correct. The truth he never saw. What he didn't realize was this. For years, while they were underestimating me, I was positioning myself. Every small investment, every irrelevant move, every quiet connection, it all led here. And now, I didn't need to fight them, because I already had control. The emergency meeting. 2 days later, they called me in. Same office, same glass walls, same desk. But this time, everything felt different. Daniel was there too. No smirk, no confidence, just tension. "Sit down," my father said. I didn't. "I'm good," I replied calmly. That alone shifted the power in the room. The confrontation. "You've been working against us," Daniel snapped. I looked at him. "No," I said quietly. "I've been working for myself." "You're destroying the company," he shouted. I tilted my head slightly. "Interesting," I said. "Because from what I see, I'm the only reason it's still standing." Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Because they knew I was right. The collapse. My father finally spoke. "What do you want?" There it was. The question. Not anger. Not authority. Just desperation. Years ago, he made decisions without asking me anything. Now, he needed my answer. The terms. I stepped forward slowly and placed a folder on the desk. "My terms," I said. Daniel grabbed it quickly. His eyes moved across the page, then widened. "You want control of the company," he said. I nodded. "Majority control," I corrected. My father stared at me. "You're serious?" I met his eyes. Completely. The irony. Years ago, he told me I wasn't ready to lead. Now, he had no choice but to hand me everything. Because without me, the company would collapse. Completely. The breaking point. Daniel slammed the folder down. "This is insane," he snapped. "You think you can just walk in and take everything?" I looked at him calmly. "I didn't just walk in," I said. "I built my way here." He didn't respond. Because deep down, he knew the truth. The decision. My father closed his eyes for a moment. Thinking. Calculating. Realizing. Then finally, he spoke. "We accept." Daniel turned to him in shock. "You can't be serious." But my father knew. This wasn't about pride anymore. This was survival. The takeover. Within weeks, everything changed. I became the majority owner. The decision maker. The one in control. And Daniel, he wasn't fired. That would have been easy. Instead, I gave him a role. A smaller one. One where he had to actually prove himself. Just like I once had too. The final conversation. One evening, after everything settled, my father came to see me. Alone. He stood in my office quietly, then said something I never expected. "I was wrong about you." I looked at him for a long moment. Then I replied. "No," I said calmly. "You just never took the time to understand me." He nodded slowly. Because that was the truth. The real revenge. Later that night, I sat alone in my office, looking out at the city lights, thinking about everything that had happened. And I realized something important. I never screamed. I never fought. I never begged. I just waited. And built. And when the time came, I didn't destroy them. I became something they couldn't ignore. The final line. People think revenge is loud, messy, explosive. But the most powerful kind is quiet, precise, unavoidable. Because in the end, I didn't just prove them wrong. I became the one they had to answer to. And the girl they once called weak, she was the one holding everything together.